Over the years, the cost of living has only increased. Paying for necessities like power, housing, water, groceries, clothing, and gas can add up. When you're planning a getaway, these are some of the most coveted destinations with the glitziest reputations or most spectacular views. They offer something a cut above the rest to all who venture out there. This is your favorite traveling channel, The Traveler's Post. Today, we're going to look into the most expensive places to live in the world and why exactly they got to this point. These are the kind of places made for a true getaway and will leave you breathless in wonder well after the fact. So strap in, make sure you've got your bags packed, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive in. Number 5. Australia. Australia is one of those places many people will never get to experience. A lot of the reason for that is that it's so expensive to get there. Travel costs can be astronomical since it's such a long distance from the places in the world. More than that, however, everything in the country is more expensive. Accommodations, tours, and general living expenses are higher than you might expect, and available goods due to import costs. Australia gives people an unmatched gaze into the outback with experiences you can't get anywhere else in the world. This includes diving near the Great Barrier Reef and viewing a concert at the Sydney Opera House. While there's a high fee for entry, exit, and just about everything in between, it's still massively popular among the sort of traveler who can afford the steep prices. Number 4. Bhutan. When you think about Bhutan, you might be surprised to consider it on this list. However, there's a daily flat fee for all tourists of $250 per day. This tourist tax counteracts the impact of tourism as an investment in the economy, and people who live there are beneficial. But over time, it does add up. Bhutan, however, is well regarded, and most people who've gone may have paid a pretty penny, but generally sees the trip as enriching and worth the cost. From beautiful steep mountains, swift rivers, fantastic tourist attractions, steeped in Buddhist history. There's certainly something within the small country that'll make it feel worth the trouble. Almost anyone who's traveled there will attest to that much. If you can handle the sticker shock, it could change your life. Number 3. Japan. Japan, with its rich history and swoon-worthy landmark, is one of the most expensive countries to visit. You can expect to pay around $320 per day on an all-inclusive trip, or $4,500 per person for a 14-day getaway. The entry fees to tourist activities can feel like you need a bank loan, not even considering the cost of ski in the country. Between majestic temples and castles, there's spectacular cherry blossom season and other enticing seasonal events throughout the year, to the advanced technology and exciting nightlife. With all that considered, it's no wonder why Japan is so coveted as a destination far and wide. Before we get to the top 2 on the list, let us know down below if there's somewhere you dream of going. If it's one on this list or not, we'd love to discuss those top destinations. While you're down there, go ahead and like the video and make sure you're subscribed for more videos just like this. Number 2. Singapore. Singapore can feel like the ultimate indulgence, and visiting there is on a lot of people's minds. However, per night, per person, could run a single person somewhere around $9,661 per night. It's a pipe dream for many, but Singapore is extremely safe, has delicious food, breathtaking architecture, accessible public transport, and is highly family-friendly. It's not difficult to see why people all over the world flock to Singapore for a once-in-a-lifetime experience like that. While it might not ever be a place most people can make an impulse trip to, despite that, it's definitely worth the overall experience you might get of the whole thing. Honorable mentions go to the United States and the United Kingdom, which may come as a bit of a surprise to some people. Tied in their overall expenses, both depend heavily on where you might be staying or where you want to go. People from all over flock to see the iconic sites they might have only seen in the movies before. Either you'll be paying a premium to visit the tourist attractions and find yourself lost in a crowd, or paying an arm and a leg for more unique experiences. Much like many on this list, there are inexpensive places you can stretch your dollar by going to. However, if you're looking to stay somewhere like London, New York, Miami, or Los Angeles, your wallet may be in for a rough surprise. Number 1. Switzerland. In general, Northern Europe is an expensive place to travel. It's one of the most expensive places around the world, between traveling and cost of living in general. Switzerland is the single most expensive country to visit worldwide, with Geneva and Zurich as two of the 10 most expensive cities in the world. It's easy to see why many people hold off on the country and wait until older or have more money. Hotels and rental properties available range from anywhere from $80 to $510 per night, which doesn't include any tourist locations or other things a visitor may want to engage in. These numbers add up. Everything costs a bit more in Switzerland because of the higher cost of living. Wages are higher and people are paid more, which brings the prices up. Many of us dream of going on lavish destination getaways to far-off lands and countries to extravagant resorts. These places exist all over the place as travel goals across the board. These won't stretch your budget very far. Still, many countries on this list can give you a once-in-a-lifetime experience you can't get anywhere else. In the end, it's up to you whether the experience is worth the price shock, and then you just have to figure out how to get there. But before you fill out your bucket list, keep in mind that the costs all over the place are constantly rising, and maybe look into more affordable options within the country. When you're trying to take in the site, backpacking or staying in lower-cost accommodations can go a long way to stretching your dollar. If you're creative about it, you may be surprised at just how far your dollar can stretch. Have you ever been to the countries on this list? Do you have a similar or completely different experience? Let us know in the comments below because we'd love to hear your perspective on the matter and maybe get a look into how your experiences match up. If you like this video and want to see more like this, then make sure you leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on for more just like this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to watch our video on the most beautiful tourist islands in the world by clicking the video on your screen. They are truly fascinating. That's going to be it for today. This has been the Traveler's Post, and we'll see you next time on your next big adventure.